Hi guys, and welcome to my retro watches. This video is a review on the new Phoibos Eagle Ray range of watches. Now before I get into the review, I'd just like to tell my regulars and my subscribers why am I doing watch reviews. I've done a few recently and there is one or two reasons really. Firstly, kind of why not? I'd like to try and see if I can bring different people to the channel. Perhaps by watching some reviews they might see some of my other content and maybe they might get into fixing watches, who knows. But equally I've been stuck in the vintage world, watch world for so long that I'm getting offered watches every now and again like this particular one to review, so why not see some new stuff, see if that actually floats my boat a little bit more. And I think because I know watches a bit more technically that I could have a little slightly different outlook on things. Equally, it's also to feed Google algorithm. YouTube wants content on a weekly basis, almost 2 to 3 videos a week, really, to grow a channel successfully, and I just can't do that. I can't do a restoration video normally in 2 to 3 weeks, whereas I could do a little 10-minute review here and there. So don't get disheartened if you're seeing these things and thinking I'm going in a different direction. I'm not at all. The heart of this channel will be me tackling old watches and trying to fix them. But it's going to be coupled with a few reviews here and there as and when I get offered things or I want to review some of my own things, just to try and feed the algorithm and push myself a little bit further. So that out the way, I wanted to say it, I really did. Let's get on and see what this watch is all about. So, who is Phoibos? Phoibos was founded in 2016 by a couple called Ethan and Emily, who had travelled to Greece, got inspiration from all the mythology and the history that you can find in Greece, and the name Phoibos was born. Phoibos actually means bright and shiny things, so there we go. Their logo also is a kraken or an octopus, so that all ties in nicely with their trip to Greece. So let's open the box and see what we've got. First of all, actually, the box is very nice for a watch box. It's quite hard, very well done. I like this bit at the front here. So I'm going to open it up. First of all, of course, we're hit with the instruction booklet, and they also offer 30 days no quibble return and refund and a 2-year warranty on their watch. So that's pretty good going. And here it is. So let's hold it up close. Now I chose the orange. There's lots of different colours and I will show you that later in the video. I chose the orange because I haven't got an orange dial. I've got plenty of blacks, plenty of blues, but I hadn't got an orange. So that's the initial shot of the watch. Very, very interesting, lot going on. It's a compressor diver type, so it's got an internal rotating bezel there. It is covered in all of the usual plastics, and so I want to remove those, size it up a little bit and get it on the wrist. Okay, so let's start with the watch specifications. This orange dial reference number is PY039F, but all the colour versions are all powered by the Seiko NH35A movement. Very, very accurate and reliable movement. It's got 24 joules, it's hand winding, it's hacking, it's used in loads of different micro brands, and I'd love really to see a different movement for once, but I can understand why they all use it. The case is 316L stainless steel. The case diameter is 41 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters and lug to lug is 47. So it's a nice little sweet spot the way it sits on your wrist. It's got a double dome sapphire crystal and it's got 3 layers of anti-reflective undercoating. Water resistance says on the dial there 200 meters, and you've got a screw down crown for both the inner rotating bezel and to set the time. So let's turn our attention to the dial, because in my opinion this watch is all about the dial, and this orange burst colour is fantastic. Of course there are other colours available if orange is not your pick of the bunch, but the dial is also textured, and believe you me, I've been wearing this watch out in the sunlight, and the way it catches the light with that texture is great. It's unlike anything else I've got in my collection, and I'm really, really glad to see a micro brand sort of using that design cue, because it is a little bit different, but it does work really, really well. If we look on the outside of the watch, we've got the inner rotating bezel, and that's got minute markers all over that, and it's also got Arabic numerals at 15, 30 and 45. But then just under that you've then got the minute track, And strangely, the minute track has got Roman numerals on it. And I just find that a bit odd that you'd have Roman numerals next to Arabic numerals. But in fairness, again, they're not all that noticeable. Certainly when you're wearing it, I'm not looking to see what Roman numeral it is. I'm just looking at the indices to figure out what time it is. So they do blend in, and maybe they are not necessary. But again, perhaps it's just Phoebos's design cue. The date is framed, nicely done. The hands are what they call syringe hands, and again, with the hands, I'm not too sure. To me, they're just a little bit too long. Certainly the hour hand is, it sort of covers the index as it passes, and that's just a bit odd. I've not seen that before. Certainly with the little tips that make them syringe, they could do with being shorter, but that's, again, just my own personal preference. It's got a nice second hand, it's loomed, and it's got a little red accent on the end just to set it off. Now, the whole of the hands and the indices are loomed with super luminova, I think it is, and it's got 15 layers. Now, okay, I'm new to reviewing new watches, but obviously I restore old watches and I do my own looming. And when I do my own looming, I'm probably putting one layer on, or perhaps even two. So to read that somebody's put 15 layers, I find that absolutely extreme, but amazing, because how do they do that and keep it so thin? But there you go, the loom works really well, and let's put up a loom shot now so you can see that. So this is what 15 layers of Super Luminova BGW9 does for a watch. I actually like the colour of this loom. The bezel is the first to fade. This video is actually shot over 15 minutes and just speeded up. Unfortunately, I haven't quite figured out the camera settings to pick it up in all its glory. It is a lot brighter than it actually seems on film here. So I was overall impressed with the loom. And now we have a wrist roll, so you can see what it looks like on the wrist, of course. And I think that fits really, really nicely. Right then, we're back on the bench. I wanted to show the case finishing. Excuse the reflection of the light. This double dome sapphire doesn't like it at all. I wanted to show you this coined edge. To me, that coined edge is wonderful. You don't see it on too many watches, but when you do, I do like it. The bezel is highly polished, and that contrasts nicely to the edge of the double dome sapphire there as well. You've got side facets which are polished, as you can see, and the sides are brushed and the lugs are brushed. We've got signed crowns for both of them. The knurling is lovely. You can get plenty of grip on those. The bracelet, what can we say about the bracelet? It is solid. So we've got a solid stainless bracelet, and we have screwed end links. Don't see those at all on anything that I've ever handled. So really, really nice feature. It makes sizing the bracelet an absolute breeze. If I had a niggle about it, first of all, doesn't it look a bit like Omega? It's a real shame, because they've gone to all this trouble of making this own design, and then they sort of copy Omega with the bracelet. Also, it's supposed to look like a 5-link. It's not. These are solid. Hard to show you on camera, but there we go, they're solid. That said, it fits lovely. The way it curves at the end here, there's nothing sticking out, nothing that I don't think would annoy me. Moving down to the clasp, this is probably my most bugbear. Have to bear with me, I've already scratched a few of them. You know, we have got a nice clasp there, safety clasp, but this, the Phoibos, I don't know. To me, it's just, after all of the execution, and we'll show you the case back in a minute, that is just a bit boring. I think they could have put the, maybe even done away with the Phoibos and just put the octopus on there, to be honest with you. And equally, you could have polished the sides on these as well, just to give it that nice contrast. But that's a little niggle. I'm really, really finding it hard to find anything wrong with this watch. I guess the trouble is, giving me a watch to review when I'm a man who likes just about every watch going, it's going to be hard for me to find any negatives. So I'm just going to undo the bracelet, and we can have a look at that case back. So here is the case back, and I think this is excellent. Okay, the octopus might not be to everybody's taste, but I do like it. It is done really well again. It's polished, it's nice and smooth, there's no sharp edges. You know, some of these sort of things that I've seen before are laser etched, and they do leave a bit of a rough finish, whereas this doesn't. So there's a bit of thought gone into that. And who needs a clear case back at the end of the day on a Seiko NH35? It's a pretty boring thing to look at, in all honesty. So well done to Phoibos. Case back is a winner for me. So the last thing to show you is the inner rotating bezel. So I've unscrewed the crown, and the action on that is really, really sweet actually. Nice and smooth. It's not too loose, so you can set it absolutely perfectly, no problem at all. Again, another plus point to this watch. Okay, so let's get down to business. How much would you pay for this watch? Well, it's retailing at $360. Now, that's, a pretty decent price. You can get some Seikos and some other brands for that, but this is something a little bit different to all of those, and it's not trying to be anything else. The compressor look, I have to say, I do like. The dial, of course, I love this orange colour, but I'll put all the other colours up now on the screen. There's lots of different ones you can choose from. Certainly one with the sort of vintage lume is eye-catching. Phoibos seem to be a brand that's doing their own thing, and I think they're doing it very, very well. This Eagle Ray certainly is a contender for anybody's collection who would want this kind of look. Trying to find some negatives. Honestly, it's very difficult for a man like me. I like every watch on the planet, so trying to find something negative is always quite difficult. But I will say that the clasp does it for me. I think that could have a better design on it rather than this little bit of laser etching. Certainly that hour hand, you can see there, to me, I just don't like the way it's overlapping the index there. And perhaps, if they're all about Greek mythology, then sword hands may have been a better option. I think that's more in keeping with the ancient Greece, perhaps. But well done, Phoibos. The Eagle Ray, certainly a winner in my eyes. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Do you like this watch? Do you not like this watch? And I'll read all the comments and I'll try and reply to as many as I possibly can. So thank you very much to Phoibos for sending this watch. It'll be prize and place in my collection. I've already worn it a hell of a lot. I really do like it out in the open. And there'll be more watch videos coming very soon. Back to the restoration videos. In fact, I'm doing 2 at the moment, almost side by side, so stay tuned for those. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please leave comments below. Please click the bell button and you'll be notified of any new videos that I upload, and you'll be able to watch those as soon as they go live. Bye for now, guys. Thank you very much.